Hey guys, kind of a bittersweet video. Um, one of the people that had actually saw the actual creature left something for me. It was given to me. I had asked many years ago. He still wouldn't tell me what it looked like, but he had wrote down for me to have at his passing. He's been gone now this year. I'm not going to say how far back. His family's asked to remain anonymous. He asked to be remain anonymous, so, but he did. They said he wanted me to have this.
Wipe that team.
Sorry about the lighting, but it's mostly a story anyway.
Woo!
I always wondered what they'd
Oh,
seen
okay.
behind the house, and this is his account
That was purple.
of what he's seen. So I'm going to read you. He said I was skeptical about what was going on at your granny's. I'd been invited down to look
Because
for
I
this
have
beast.
2 minis.
And what I was looking for, I wasn't even sure existed. I was a rough and tough boy at the time. Been in a lot of fights, bar fights, fights around town. Won almost all of them. I was a strong boy. Wasn't afraid of no one. Everybody says a good fighter always gets whooped now and then. I went down to end this trouble for your grandma. She was having a lot of trouble, and I wanted to be the one to catch and beat the snot out of whoever it was. It was a late night. We were sitting there in her front room on the couch, her drinking her coffee, and everybody else kind of playing games and talking and watching TV, waiting for the nightly spooks to arrive. While we were sitting there, the dog started barking, of course, and I'm thinking, okay, here comes the pervert. He's thinking of somebody. And as we're all sitting there, I hear the back door wiggle, as your grandma had said many times. It was kind of a lit night that night. The moon was out. The yard light in the front, it cast enough light in the backyard you could see relatively good. It was kind of like the light was a shade through the trees. I remember I'd snuck out the front door, and as I went around the corner of the porch, I was looking, to make sure nobody was ducking there.
Sorry.
Ready
I can't help you.
just to snatch them up by their neck. And as I went down the side of the house, I heard it in the backyard walking. And I thought, oh boy, this is where it ends tonight. Everybody's looked for it, and I'm finally going to get a hold of it. And when I do, it's going to be bad. I was planning on getting a hold of it, beating it as I yelled for the other boys to come out and help. While I had made it outside, and alone, I went around the corner ready to do battle. What I seen that night changed my mind. This has been in my mind for 50 years. And I'm going to tell you tonight, Mike, in my writings, what I seen. As I went around the corner, there it was on all fours. It was so large, I thought maybe it was standing on an old fishing cleaning table that your grandpa had back there, or one of the hog cleaning tables. But it wasn't. It was on the ground. And it was so tall, it was taller than my waist, and I'm 6'4", 230 pounds. It was eating your granny's scraps that she had dumped out the back door, which was normal. It had the scraps all over its face. Like it was just a messy eater. Its hair wasn't nothing like I've heard anyone explain. What I seen was long, hollowed like straw hair that all moved in orchestra. It was hanging, but they were long. They weren't like they were soft, but they were kind of solid, coarse. It looked like it had had the mange. It had a lot of hair all over it, but the hair could be seen through to the skin, and the skin was dark. This was the eeriest thing I'd ever seen. Its hands were huge, as it was rubbing the hands on the side of its mouth like it was eating through the sides of its mouth, not even through the front. It then stood on its hind legs. It looked directly at me, and I looked directly at it. I was afraid, Mike, at that time it was really going to hurt me or kill me. I knew I could not beat whatever beast this was. Its face was that of a dog, a man, and kind of a pig. I'm not sure what you would call it. Its teeth were cut into its upper gums. It had a dog-like snout, but you could see where the teeth had cut its upper snout. This is a nasty beast, Mike. It turned and faced me sideways. And as its side was to me, it turned its head looking at me from the side, and it cocked its head and it smiled. This smile haunts me today, 50 years later, Mike. I turned, and for the first time in my life, I was ready to run. Not plainly, like a child learning how to talk. It uttered the word, hello.
3, 2, 1, go.
But it was an evil hello, Mike. I ran as fast as I could for that front door. It felt like I was in slow motion. Could not wait to see the light of the front door, just to get into the light, to get up the steps for somebody to see me, to know I was there in case I needed help. And when I ran through that door, I slammed the porch door behind me, locking the front door, and shoving the long couch that your grandma had in front of the door. And I sat down. I was unable to talk. I was about to pass out. I didn't want to tell everybody, but in the action, I was starting to lose my hearing and had already had tunnel vision. I was so afraid. Mike, I've served in war, seen really bad things, but I've never been as afraid as I was that night. In war, you knew your adversary, but this was unlike anything we'd ever seen. It's not an alien, and it's not a monster. This is a beast, Mike. Living, breathing beast. I could see the nostrils flaring. I could see whenever it would take a breath, it exhaled, and I could see the mist in the air. You could see its breath. It breathes. If it breathes, it dies. It's very intelligent. I believe this thing is very intelligent. Mike, I pray that you never find this, and that this thing never finds you, because in the 50 years, it has changed my life dramatically. I did not fish in the dark no more in that area. I would not allow my kids to go camping no more in that area. Mike, we moved away from that area for that reason, and moved into a more populated area where we could fish and be safe. Mike, I pray on your journey that you are safe and all those with you. Because remember, when you're out there, more than likely you're not hunting it, it's hunting you. Best regards. Glad to be able to save that with you guys, be able to share it with you guys. I've got it saved. We've wondered that for years.
Not right now.
He felt at liberty, and he felt that he trusted me enough to leave me that story. And I'm very happy that he trusted me to do that. His family said that he knows I'm honest and I wouldn't add anything to it or take away from it. I read it to you just as it is. I'm not going to say what I think, what it is. You make that conclusion. I'd love to visit with you guys in the comments about it. Give me your opinions. Let's talk about it. I'm not going to throw anything out there, guys. Is it like the wolf and the silver bullet, the part man thing, because it don't sound like it. It sounds like this is something that only the few that seen it know. Maybe I will experience it someday. I hope I do. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. But thanks for listening, guys. We'll be going out here pretty shortly with the cooler weather, doing some campouts. Got some more equipment coming, so hang with us. I appreciate each and every one of you. Tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the bell. It helps us out a lot getting our videos out. The more we can get out, the more stuff we can get, the more we can explore. Be safe if you're hunting it. I don't recommend doing it, but if you do, be safe. Thanks for watching, and good night.